Right now, somewhere on Earth, millions of people are kissing. A couple on a first date is kissing in a parked car. A husband is kissing his wife goodbye before work. Two teenagers are kissing behind a school building, convinced they're the first people in human history to feel this way, and almost none of them know why they're doing it. Not how, why. Because when you really stop and think about it, kissing is kind of weird. Out of all the ways two humans could show affection, we chose this. Pressing our mouths together, trading saliva, getting close enough to smell each other's breath. If aliens landed tomorrow and observed human behavior for the first time, kissing would probably raise a few questions. And the strangest part is that scientists still aren't completely sure where it came from. Most people assume kissing has always existed, that it's natural, automatic, something humans have done forever, except that's not true. In fact, some cultures throughout history never kissed romantically at all. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer societies found groups where kissing simply wasn't part of courtship. People fell in love, they got married, they had children, but they didn't kiss, which creates a problem. If kissing is a universal human instinct, why didn't everyone do it? And if it isn't universal, then where did it come from? To answer that question, we have to go back long before dating apps, wedding ceremonies, or even written language. Back to a time when surviving childhood was one of the hardest things a human being could do. Imagine a mother 100,000 years ago. No supermarkets, no baby food, no blenders, no formula. Her child is too young to chew tough meat or roots, but old enough to need more than milk. So she does something that sounds strange today, but was once common across the world. She chews the food herself, then transfers it directly into the child's mouth to mouth. It's called premastication, and for thousands of years it was one of the safest ways to feed infants. Before spoons, before jars of baby food, before modern kitchens, parents were essentially pre-processing meals with their own teeth. And some researchers think that behavior may hold the first clue to the origin of kissing. Not romance, not attraction, parenting. The first kiss may have been a mother feeding her child. Now, before you dismiss that idea, consider something interesting. Many animals show similar behaviors. Birds regurgitate food directly into the mouths of their chicks. Some primates share food mouth to mouth. Physical closeness around the mouth is not nearly as unusual in nature as it sounds. The difference is that humans took it somewhere completely different. Because what started as feeding may have eventually become affection. And affection may have become something else entirely. Because around the time humans began forming larger social groups, another problem appeared: choosing the right partner. For most of human history, picking the wrong mate wasn't just embarrassing, it could be fatal. A bad partner could mean weak alliances, fewer resources, unhealthy children, or abandonment. Humans needed a way to evaluate each other quickly, which is where the story gets weird. Because every time you kiss someone, your brain is gathering information. A lot of information, more than you realize. Researchers have found that when two people kiss, they're exchanging chemical signals almost immediately. Your brain is analyzing scent, hormones, immune system markers, biological compatibility, all without you consciously noticing. In other words, part of your brain isn't experiencing romance. It's running diagnostics. The kiss feels emotional, but underneath that emotion, your nervous system is collecting data. And the crazy part is that it works. Studies have found that people often report changes in attraction after a first kiss. Someone can seem perfect right up until the moment they kiss them. Then suddenly something feels off. They can't explain why. They just know. Which suggests the kiss may be doing exactly what evolution designed it to do, helping humans decide who belongs close and who doesn't. But if kissing was useful, when did it become romantic? That's where history finally leaves the shadows. One of the oldest written references to kissing appears in ancient India more than 3,000 years ago. Texts describe lovers touching mouths together in ways that sound surprisingly familiar today. Not long after, references begin appearing across parts of the ancient world. By the time civilizations were rising across Asia, the Middle East, and Europe, kissing had become attached to something much larger than biology. identity, status, relationships, trust. In some societies, people kissed rulers. In others, they kissed religious objects. Some kissed rings. Others kissed the hands of kings. The act itself stayed the same, but the meaning multiplied. And that's when kissing stopped being just a biological behavior. It became a social technology, a way to communicate something without words. Love, loyalty, respect, submission, devotion, one gesture, dozens of meanings. And then came one of the biggest changes in human history. Cities. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans mostly lived among people they already knew. Small groups, small tribes, familiar faces. But cities changed everything. Suddenly, strangers were everywhere. And when strangers meet, symbols become important. Clothing became symbols. Jewelry became symbols. Language became symbols. And so did physical gestures. A kiss could instantly communicate a relationship that would otherwise take hundreds of words to explain. This is why kissing survived, not because it was necessary, but because it was useful. It connected biology, emotion, and culture into a single behavior. Very few human traditions managed to do all three, and that's why today, despite living in a world filled with smartphones, satellites, and artificial intelligence, we still do something that may have roots stretching back to the earliest chapters of our species. Every first kiss, every goodbye kiss, every wedding kiss, every kiss goodnight, all part of a story that began long before anyone understood what love was. The next time you kiss someone, it might feel like a simple moment, just affection, just romance, just habit. But your ancestors were doing versions of the same thing before there were cities, before there were kingdoms, before there was history. Because beneath all the poetry and emotion, a kiss is one of the oldest conversations humans know how to have. And we've been speaking that language for a very long time.